All right, guys, so as most of you know, the Local Brews Local Grooves showcases on the little stage near the bar at San Diego's House of Blues and my 6.5-year weekly residency there are ending next week. So I wanted to take a look back and say a huge thank you to all the folks who made it such a fun time. The name Local Brews Local Grooves and the concept for blending beers and music, which wasn't being done at the time, was introduced by the GM in charge of the place at that time, Matt Parsons. It was 2009, and I'd just gotten my gig hosting the Homegrown Hour, and he reached out to me to help him with the local music part of his vision. Parsons and his team were amazing to work with, and together we dreamed up the Local Brews Local Grooves All Access Fest, a multi-band and brewery event with a unique ticketing system. This week I am honoring Matt Parsons as our Lloyd Pest Control Artist of the Week.
Hello, this is Matt.
Hey Matt, Cathryn Beeks from Listen Local Radio. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, Cathryn. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. I'm just calling to say hi and to remind you that next week is the last Tuesday at House of Blues, and I hope you can make it out. I think we should have a beer together as the last note rings out, you know?
I agree. Gosh, it's
but
bittersweet.
It is. But seriously, I wanted to thank you for that opportunity back in 2009. It was an awesome thing to be a part of. So
My pleasure.
And I wanted to I'm going to make you the Lloyd Pest Control Artist of the Week. I was telling the listeners that although you're not a professional musician, I've never met anyone more passionate about music and its power. And I wanted to talk about those shows that we started, Local Brews, Local Grooves. And in 2009, nobody was really doing local beer and local music. And how did you come up with that concept?
Well, I think it was, if anybody kind of knows my history, I had a first tour with House of Blues back in the mid-'90s, late '90s, and I'd had a friend who was a brewmaster at a little brewery out in the Carolinas, in Myrtle Beach specifically. We had 3 shows of Widespread Panic.
Wow.
We decided to do a blueberry wheat. We did 20 barrels, so we did 20 kegs of blueberry wheat in it, and we had 3 sold-out shows. Halfway through the 3rd show, we sold it out. So, there was something, I always knew there was something there. There was something magical about craft beer.
Right.
And I think in San Diego, once I got there and landed, and we played around, and Ballast Point had just bottled Sculpin. So, it's kind of a history lesson in craft beer, too.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely.
They had just bottled it. They dropped me off 2 cases. I was nervous as hell because I had to charge $15 a bottle.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a G Love sauce, special sauce show, and we sold out all the Sculpin I had in like the first hour.
Oh my gosh.
So that show was kind of made the biggest impact on me in terms of knowing that we had a great opportunity to take phenomenal partners, the craft beer guys in San Diego and gals in San Diego, and really form some special partnerships.
Yeah, I remember one of our first one was Green Flash, and the brewmaster used to come to our Tuesday night shows and hang out and watch the music.
Yeah, that's right. And
remember that? I just thought that was so awesome.
Showed up for the first all access show.
Right.
And it became part of the DNA, I think, of what they were doing to promote themselves, as well as just everybody falling in love with the music and the shows. It was a pretty special formula. Totally.
And then also giving the bands the tickets to give away and then giving them money based on how many tickets come through the door is still such a win-win for everybody. I mean, the bands don't have to sell. The patrons are getting a free ticket, so they're going to spend more at the bar, which makes the venue do well. And I just think it's such a great concept. And had you done that before?
Yeah, that again goes back to really the early days of House of Blues, where Isaac Tigert, who was the founder, believed in promoting the local musicians, but also having the local musicians promote the House of Blues.
Right.
The more people we have on a stage talking about House of Blues, the better off everybody's life is. And I think it's still a great formula. And you obviously know, Cathryn, there's a difference between the bands who are professional and who are engaged,
right,
and who really, really want to be out there, versus the guys who don't.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way, with them having a component and a hand in the ticketing, which we know we can't, you can't do on big shows anymore. Those days are gone. But when it comes down to the smaller shows, we had done it. It's still a very organic way to promote, local live music, and it's still one of the best ways to keep everybody engaged, the artist as well as the venue.
Absolutely. Well, I am borrowing that format as I take the All Access Fest to the Music Box October 15th.
Oh, nice.
We are still using that same formula where the bands are giving tickets to give away. And so I just think that is
awesome.
A brilliant formula. So thank you for that as well. So what do you think about the fact that House of Blues trademarked the name after you left? As a GM at a corporate company, I always wondered, do you have a way to protect the cool stuff that you think of?
Well, I think that's a tricky question because there's kind of two parts to it. First is, hey, the emotional attachment to something that you've created with a very cool team of people, which at that time was myself and you and Rena, who was my executive assistant at the time, and then the craft beer guys. I mean, it was probably about 10 or 15 people really who were working together, and so you have an emotional attachment to the people, I guess. The concept itself now has been duplicated and replicated. I mean, I'm in Chicago right now, and you can see these craft beer festivals, craft beer music festivals everywhere, right? So, they call them different things, but at the end of the day, that concept, holistically, I'd love to believe it's just mine, Cathryn, and yours. I think our objective always was to get local musicians in front of people,
absolutely,
and have a really good quality cold beer in their hand. I'm proud to say I was part of that, and I'm happy for House of Blues. It's a company I've spent a lot of time with in my adult life.
Yeah.
Some I remember, some I don't. But at the end of the day, it's part of a DNA that should be about live music, and I hope that continues. And I'm glad that you and I were able to help them.
I do too. Thank you, Matt, for allowing me to be part of that, and also allowing me the freedom to do like the kids show and some other unique programming that they're no longer doing.
Yeah, well, I love to hear that you continue to move that forward. And the way House of Blues started was the foundation first, which is really, we were worried about the loss of arts education in the schools.
Right.
And, the more that we can do around that concept, maybe that's something else that we work on down the road, Cathryn, to be a part of making sure kids have access to learn as much as they can about music and the arts. So
you got it. Well, I'm happy to work with you anytime, my friend. I think you are a brilliant general manager and an amazing person. So thank you.
I feel the same for you. So thank you so much, Cathryn.
All right.
It's an honor to be a part of what you're doing as always, and I wish you the very best, and I'm sure we'll be working together again soon.
You got it, babe. I'll see you Tuesday then, huh?
That sounds great.
All right. Okay, Matt.
All right, Cathryn.
Love that guy. So I wish I could personally call and thank everyone. Clint, Shervia, Aaron, Rena, my amazing sound engineers upstairs, Mike, Sean, Dan, Scott Munson, his whole team downstairs, the mixologist who always had my Pinot at the ready, Roger and his team downstairs, and Eddie, Eric, and Bethany, who I adore. So many cool wait staff that I can't even begin to name them all. I seriously could cry thinking about how amazing you all are and how many epic shows we all put on together. It is tough to say goodbye, but after the past few months, House of Blues has become sort of just a building and a brand and has little to do with my memories of the magic that happened there. In fact, most of the folks involved in making that magic are no longer employed there. Brock, Eileen, I will never forget you. In conclusion, although my recent experience with the interim GM and a few team members has been less than pleasurable, I do wish the new staff all the best as they strive to continue our Local Brews Local Grooves legacy and continue allowing local bands to play the main stage at House of Blues without having to pay. Namaste, party people.